Hello and welcome to the HeroesHype Amateur Series. I am Gillyweed and I am joined kind of by Anna, more like Anna's picture. Guys, she is not quite here yet. That's why we've got the BRB on screen. But that's okay, I'm still here and I'm going to bring you the first game of week 7, I believe, the HeroesHype Amateur Series. And that's going to be between Avid Pulse and Vitality eSports. And there's some sirens going by my house. I apologize about that. And we've seen Vitality before. I'm not sure. I've casted a game with Avid Pulse before, but that's fun. It will be something kind of new, at least for me. And I think they're starting the draft-ish, so we can go ahead and hop into that a little bit. Let's see. There we go. So we're going to be on Dragonshire. Of course, if you're unfamiliar with first of all, this game, this is Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard's new hero brawler. It's in closed beta, but sort of careening its way toward being public, and a lot of people have been joining it recently. This is the HeroesHype Amateur Series, which is a tournament designed by the amazing people at HeroesHype. Make sure you go follow them. And it's designed so that people can join teams and kind of experience the tournament atmosphere in the low grades before making it up to the big leagues of the main tournaments. So it's cool. There's no prize money, but the prize, of course, is bragging rights and the chance to get to practice picking and banning and just sort of drafting and playing in more of a permanent, familiar tournament setting. So with that, we've got the picks and bans underway here for Dragonshire between Vitality and Avid Pulse. And Vitality actually banning Murky. So that's something new right off the bat that we don't often ever see. Oh, 16. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's because this is a different ban now. And we've got a different one. So just kidding on the Murky, guys. We will be ready with that momentarily. So while we're waiting for this picks and bans to start, we can go ahead and start with talking about Dragonshire. So every map is a little bit different. It's got a different objective here in Heroes of the Storm. Dragonshire has 2 different shrines, one on top and one on bottom. If you stand on one for a certain amount of time, you'll claim it for your team, and once your team has claimed both, then one of your teammates can channel to sort of put on the Dragon Knight suit. And once you become the Dragon Knight, you can siege your enemy's structures. You can also attack enemy players and deal a lot of damage. You've got sort of this giant axe that you can wield and do damage with, but you can also breathe fire that deals a lot of damage and punt people as well, because why not, as a giant dragon. So that's where we'll be on the Dragonshire, and you'll get to see that soon. And it looks like we might have switched colors here for the teams. We'll have to see. But for now, we've got Avid Pulse, and they are going to ban Zeratul. So this ban is fairly new. It's recent in terms of the meta as well. And that's just because people are starting to really see the use of Zeratul. A lot of people lately have been doing Zeratul and Abathur, which we haven't seen Abathur in a long time, so that's pretty cool. But of course, Zeratul can help set up a lot of really good plays for your team. One of his heroic abilities is the Void Prison, which he can throw down and it freezes everybody in there, and that just enables your team to be able to set up better plays. We've also seen him a lot lately with Diablo, who of course is really strong in this meta right now. You could throw down the Void Prison and then Apocalypse on top of that, and it's just constant stuns for days. And so Avid Pulse is going to go ahead and ban out Zeratul on this map, and Vitality is actually following up with a Kerrigan ban. Now this is a ban that we don't often see is Miss Kerrigan here, but that's still really cool. She of course can also set up good plays by pulling people in, and then she can deal just a ton of damage with her Maelstrom too. So just going to go ahead and ban her out. And then a first pick from Avid Pulse will be Illidan. Very, very standard. Illidan does a ton of damage. He is, of course, melee and pretty squishy at that when it comes to health. So they will be looking, Avid Pulse that is, will be looking to bring in some healers who can keep Illidan topped off when it comes to his health, making sure that he doesn't take too much damage, because the way he attacks, he could flip, get out of position a little bit, and so healers like Rhaegar, which we're seeing pulled out for Vitality, are actually often picked here with Illidan. But of course, Vitality eSports not giving Avid Pulse that classic Rhaegar Illidan composition. They go ahead and pick up Rhaegar and Jaina as well. Now, Jaina is fairly recent. She's been around for a little while, but as far as her being picked quite often in the meta, just since this last patch, she was buffed. All of her basic abilities, I believe the damage was buffed, and then also she got a really cool talent at level 20 that she can pick called Arcane Power, that just gives her a lot of damage, we'll say. It gives her some mana and then ability power for a certain number of seconds, and so she's just been picked a lot more often in the meta since then. Now, of course, she also is very squishy and doesn't have a lot of escape, so they're really going to be making sure that they keep Jaina in a good position and healed up as much as possible, while we'll probably see Avid Pulse make her a top priority when trying to take her down. Now, we talked about trying to keep that Illidan topped up in health as well, and since the Rhaegar's gone, Avid Pulse has chosen to go with the Uther and Tastar. So a double support combo, or well, a 1.5 we'll say, as Anna likes to say. Tassadar has some supporting power, he has great shields, but then he also deals a lot of damage as well with his Psionic Storm and his Archon heroic ability. But Uther has a ton of heals and also has some great stuns as well, which is very helpful when you're trying to lock someone down so that Illidan can jump over them and then take them out with his giant blade things. Vitality eSports is going to go ahead and pick up the first tank in this pick. They've decided to go with ETC, very standard. Some say the best tank in the meta right now. He has a lot of health, which of course makes the tankiness of him. He also has the ability to set up really good fights. Either he can use Stage Dive, his heroic, to make sure that you are always in every team fight, or you can also use the Mosh Pit to try to lock people into position while your squishy people like Jaina and Vala take everyone out. So along with Jaina, they're going to pick up Vala, so this is going to be really good. They've got two ranged assassins to deal a lot of damage with. And that's going to, with ETC, that's going to be a lot of stopping power for Avid Pulse. But Avid Pulse, this is going to be an awesome game to cast, picks up Abathur. I talked about Abathur with Zeratul, but we haven't talked about is Abathur with Illidan. Oh my goodness. So they're basically throwing it all on the line here with Illidan. Tassadar will be there to do a lot of damage, but the most damage is going to be done with Abathur hatting people and hatting most of the time Illidan, which we'll see. I'll show you the symbiote when we get in the game. We call it the Abahat, and actually taking Chin to round out the composition. So a tank that we have not seen very much here in the HeroesHype Amateur Series. And the last pick for Vitality eSports going with Sylvanas. So if you notice, they've got three very squishy heroes in Sylvanas, Vala, and Jaina, and so it's going to be up to Rhaegar to keep them alive, and as a single healer, that's not always typically possible, but we'll have to see how well he can do and how well the positioning will come into play with Jaina, Vala, and Sylvanas, and ETC keeping everybody off of them. And it looks like we are about ready to start this game. I'm gonna hop over to the game, and we've got, I may have the colors of these team names switched because I think they switched on me in the middle of, we'll have to see. Once we get into it, I can change it very quickly if so. And just counting down. I think the volume is probably pretty quiet, so I will fix it as soon as we get into the game. Like I mentioned, here we are on Dragonshire. with the shrines, the Dragon Knight, and then you can use the Dragon Knight to take out the enemy structures. Now, of course, it's just me right here, guys. If you're just hopping in, I'm Gillyweed. Hello. Anna will be joining very soon as she possibly can. But until then, I will do my best to solo cast this for you guys. I know it won't be quite as fun, but she'll be back. She'll be back very soon. She's out, I think, what did she say? Hunting murky eggs? That's what she's doing. I'm really excited to see Abathur and Chen, too. Two of them, we didn't see either of those once last week. So things really changed up really fast here. I'm pretty pumped to see that. I love seeing Abathur in conjunction with Illidan. That's going to be something that's going to help Illidan just stay alive a little bit more. I talked about how difficult he is to stay alive. Abathur's symbiote ability, which puts a hat on you, makes you a little bit stronger. There's a shield, and then also from there, Abathur can attack as well. He has a skill shot and then an attack that attacks around the hero. So it'll be cool. It'll help Illidan not only be able to stay alive a little bit better, but deal more damage. And on very squishy heroes, that can be especially devastating because it's hard to get away from Illidan and the way he attacks. But on the opposite side, with Jaina and Vala and Sylvanas dealing a lot of damage, if ETC can keep everybody away from those three, they'll be able to take people out very quickly, especially Jaina. She has a ton of burst right now with her new attacks. And on top of that, Sylvanas will be able to help them push down structures really quickly. Her talent, Black Arrows, makes structures that she's attacking not attack. So that's going to be really cool to see. She can throw that on a tower and they can probably burst down a tower in no time, which they will, let's see, I think Avid will have to be really watching. Can't remember quite which team was which. All right, so it looks like I have the teams on the correct side.
Yes.
Look, there's no fun happening here, but I'm going to go ahead and introduce the teams. So over here on the side of Vitality eSports, we've got Seamus Soul on Vala, Kron on ETC, Lord Twisted on Jaina, Min on Rhaegar, and Mr. Big Hoss on Sylvanas. And on the side of Avid Pulse, we have Dark Whale on the Elusive Chin. Stop moving. I am Vizard on the awesome Tassadar. Look at that Tassadar, Mecha Tassadar mount. Ah, it's so awesome. Jingle Sassy on Abathur, Pringle on Illidan, and Woos on Uther. Weesu. Oh my gosh. Alright, someone type in chat, I used to say that. Westwood? Maybe. Alright, so as normal here on the Dragonshire, we've got a 1-1-3 comp, which means there are 3 heroes for each team on the bottom lane. Now, because Abathur is here, it does mean that there's one less body for the side of Avid Pulse, but because they have the Avid hat, it still helps a little bit, but they might be a little more vulnerable here at the start. And as you can see, the shrines are about to activate. They're going to activate in about 10 seconds, and at that point, we'll be able to see the teams going to try to take those shrines and eventually trying to get the Dragon Knight, although usually not right at the outset. They're more concerned with just sitting in lane and making sure that they soak up all the experience that they can and not get behind. Down here on bottom, of course, you're going to see Vitality eSports pick up the bottom shrine. Top, it's still a little more contested. We've got ETC and Chin attacking there, but oh, Chin's getting very low. Does have the Abathur hat there, but he's trying to drink to recharge his shields a little bit, but actually gets taken out by Kron. So ETC is already there, going to be able to take it out. Pringle is coming up to try to attack Kron, followed by Wiswa on the Uther. But there they go, they take back the top shrine, and now it's 1-1 each. But however, they had to leave this bottom shrine, which means that a lot of sieging is coming down on Avid Pulse's gates here. And they've already taken out one turret, they're taking out another one, and this is huge. 2 minutes in, and they've already got the 2 towers and the gate down. And that's really pushing them ahead in the experience. And they're just going to continue pushing. Meanwhile, up top, Avid Pulse doing the same thing, but their push is a bit behind. They've just now taken down the first turret, while we see that Vitality is already on the fort. It's not attacking either because of Mr. Big Hoss as Sylvanas. That hero trait I was telling you about where it's not going to attack. Oh yes, I should mention that we're also in big head mode because it is April Fool's Day. So if you're wondering what the giant heads are, that's what's going on with that. Not much more to say about that. Already a keep has gone down, and that's just pushing this experience lead as well. These teams are kind of just forgetting that this is a game on Dragonshire, not really even trying for the shrines. They're just content to each keep a shrine. However, it does look like the Avid Pulse is going to have to push back a little bit from this fort, not going to be able to pick it up, and that's just going to solidify that experience lead for Vitality eSports, who are continuing to push. They're now on the keep wall with turrets and gates, and this is going to have to be stopped. Here comes Pringle, he's going to try to stop them, but now we see that that push has netted a talent lead on the side of Vitality eSports. Pringle's trying to go in to get something done, not going to be able to do much as everyone from Vitality is able to get away. And Jingle Sassy here in Abathur still trying to push away Seamus Soul with those locusts. Alright, so meanwhile everyone's murking. We can see that this Vala is going for more of an auto attack build with Rancor and Manticore. So not really that multi-shot build that we see so much. But that she's going to be going for more of a just a single target down someone very quickly build, which is understandable, like because I said if you can take down this Illidan, then very quickly can dismantle the team. Now up at the top, ETC and Chen once again are fighting for this shrine. This time Kron's the one who's going to have to run away, trying to get away. Darkwell with the Abathur hat is trying to catch him, but he's going to stop and take a drink. Oh, Chen. But that's okay because Vitality's still got this bottom shrine, and also they've taken the Bruiser camp here on bot. Looks like Illidan and Darkwell might be back to try to take out this keep, or this fort. They do have a similar talents, but they are still 1 level behind. So they've got to be careful here. Looks like Kron has pushed Chen out. Chen's going to try to jump away. Once again gets stunned by Kron. He's trying to get away. Lord Twisted dealing a lot of damage while those body blocks from ETC, goodness, just can't get away from the Rockstar. And that's the burst damage I talked about from Jaina, is taking him out even though he is the tanky player on that team. Pringle's jumped in, is going to do some damage to Lord Twisted, but with Kron right there, Pringle can't really do much and actually needs to get away very quickly because Jaina is throwing down a lot of damage. And Mr. Big Hoss Sylvanas here is pushing on top. They're almost level 10. And at this point, Avid Pulse is just trying to sort of mitigate everything that's going on here with Avid Pulse, and they're not really able to do so quite yet. And because of that, actually, the first Dragonite is going to go to Vitality eSports. They've taken it up. They've already taken down the towers and gate in the mid, and now they're going for this fort. They've picked up their level 10 talents as well, and with Avid Pulse not having them yet, it's making it very difficult for them to try to engage into this. Seamus Soul and Mr. Big Hoss are kind of low. They're trying to stay back and just let the Dragonite take the brunt of the damage. They've taken this fort down to about half health, and Sylvanas and Jane have got to be careful here because Pringle at any moment can jump in. And actually, he caught Abathur out a little bit by mistake, not seeing that. Not sure if that was ETC or Min here on the Dragonite, but now the Dragonite's attacking here up at top, takes down another turret before starting to get away as the night ship has ended, and now everyone is going to continue pushing on top. As far as heroics go, we've got Wailing Arrow for Sylvanas, Ancestral Healing for the Rhaegar, Rain of Vengeance for Vala, Stage Dive for ETC, and the Water Elemental for Jaina. So ETC, this means that he can split push all he wants, and when he is absolutely needed for team fights, he'll just Stage Dive in. So he's always there for his team. Now level 10 is now here for Avid Pulse. This is going to give them a little bit of breathing room, as now Jingle Sassy has, what did she pick? Involved Monstrosity. So Jingle Sassy is really going to be looking to try to get a lot of pushing done. But that also means that because Abathur doesn't have those, the ultimate evolution, they won't really ever have that 5th body in teamfights, so they'll really have to be aware of that. So everybody's just smirking. Here's the monstrosity that we see. Jingle Sassy is starting to push back Vitality eSports just a little bit. And also on that side, oh, here we go, we might have a team fight. They're going to disengage. Avid Pulse is for now going to disengage and let Vitality have these. And we also have Wandering Keg for Chen. Divine Shield, actually, for Uther. That's a bit of a change. Archon for Tassadar, and Metamorphosis for Illidan. So Divine Shield's just going to be something we don't typically say, oh no, Mr. Big House getting caught out a little bit, trying to get away, but actually the whole team of Avid Pulse is behind. Now a lot of damage from Jaina takes out Illidan very quickly though, and Tassadar is going to be next. Uther is not far behind, and Uther goes while Kron actually receives the Ancestral Growth from Rhaegar, keeping him alive, and with that, that's 3 heroes down, because Abathur is still up, but a keep will go down as well. And Vitality eSports is definitely keeping control of this game. They've picked up the level 13 talents. They're more than 2 levels ahead here. And Abathur is doing all that he can to try to keep the push going. He's got lots of locusts and everything, but without being able to really have a body in that fight, it's going to make it pretty difficult here. Now the shrines are up. They are going to try to go after the mid just to try to stop Seamus Soul here from being able to pick up the Dragon Knight. They do stop her from doing so. Vala is forced to back up. They're hanging out in mid here, but the pressure will continue to be on as long as they have to stay here in mid. As long as they can't pick up one of these shrines, they're going to be pressured constantly to stay here in mid and not let somebody from Vitality pick up the Dragon Knight. Chin does grab the top shrine. Their pressure is off a little bit. They can disengage, but Vitality is hot on their heels. They want to force a fight. They have level 13 talents. Avid Pulse does not have them at all, so they're going to be looking to have the fight. Dark World's jumping in a little bit, trying not to take too much damage, but just keep everybody off of their squishies. And it looks like once again, Vitality eSports has taken back the shrines. So Avid is forced to come down here, keep the lane push, try to keep them from taking it. Now Pringle actually way out of position a little bit up in the front, and Uther as well. Both take a lot of damage from the nightmare that is Jaina, Vala, and Sylvanas. They quickly go down, and once again, the Dragon Knight goes to Vitality eSports. Remember that Wailing Arrow that we saw Sylvanas take? She can silence people with that in an area, and so she's just being able to silence people on the team of Avid Pulse without really letting them do anything, and that's really being detrimental. So now we do have everyone up. They are going to be coming in to try to stop the siege that is this tank, but it's a 3-level difference, and once again we see that Vitality eSports is up an entire talent here. So they are going to play it safe and go for this keep instead of the risky going in for the core. They will get the core, no problem. Dark World coming in, trying to do a lot of damage. Pringle has jumped onto Kron, who is getting low. They're still trying to get a lot of damage. Here comes the Metamorphosis. He's going to try to go in. He's chasing after Lord Twisted, who sprints away. Now he unfortunately drops. Dark Whale is shielding for his life. Does get a lot of damage on Dark Twisted, but goes down before he can take down the Jaina. And now we see Uther and Tassadar just running back, trying to survive. Rhaegar really wants to get that. Uther does get the kill. And once again, we've got 3 heroes down on the side of Avid Pulse, with poor Uther Ghost just hanging out here. Oh, there he goes. And now, interesting, Vitality just choosing to go ahead and merc up, play it safe. They really want to make sure that they have the map in their favor before they go after the core. And so they're just going to turn the map blue now. They've got so many mer camps that they can pick up. This one's up in a minute, and every other one is up. You see ETC, who is just going ahead and pushing lanes. You may see him try to contest this here against Chen. And he can definitely do so, like I talked about before. He's a full talent tier up. And now everyone's going to come in. Here comes Big Head Uther looking for a fight. But everyone's just playing it safe a little bit here. Here comes Dark Whale. He's going to try to barrel Min back into his team. Rhaegar does get pushed back, but unfortunately they aren't able to secure the kill on him. The Rain of Vengeance quickly drops Illidan and Chin. Uther's down as well. Here goes Tassadar. And now with all of the heroes down except Abathur, this time Vitality eSports are going to go ahead and secure the win. So very quick win there. We saw Chen was trying to use that barrel to push heroes into the range of his team, but unfortunately with the level difference and all of that, just not quite able to make that work for them. And I'm back. So congratulations to Vitality eSports. They will be moving on to the next round, which will be the round of 8. And we will be back with that, guys, for you very soon, the HeroesHype Amateur Series. While we take a little break and set up the next game, be sure to go follow HeroesHype. Check out their website. They're really awesome. They have lots of updates on esports and community stuff happening in Heroes of the Storm. And you can also follow them on Twitter and, of course, here on Twitch as well, and even Facebook. So you guys do that. I will see if we've found Anna yet, and I will be back very soon.